and we're back with a Celtic Unrestricted View. And it's Tom, Dick and Harry. How we doing, lads? It's nice to see your smiley faces. See you've got your winter coat coming in there, Jess. Nice to see you, big man. Hope you've been well. It's been a long time. Feel as if I've not spoke to you for since, I don't know, since we were -7 in Glasgow, now we're -9. It's absolute quality. Right, I don't even need to come to you, mate, because obviously me and you were ranting and raving about. And then the next week I'll be £2,000, and then the next week I'll be £3,000, and so on and so on. Jason, I'm going to come to you, mate. How are we, and how have you been this weather, big man?
I'm good, mate. A wee bit worried about the cold this week, unfortunately, but yeah.
Oh, if you're the same as him, man, you get man flu.
Oh, I've had it all week. I can't shift it, man. But it's good to be on, mate. It's good. I'm just watching this Netherlands game, man. It's just before I go in there. It's fucking what a game of football that is. But
brilliant. I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. To be fair.
No. I'm just looking forward to next week to getting. I want Celtic back on the screen now. I'm sick. I'm bored. I want to watch Celtic again. And
don't we all, mate? Don't we all? It's been. I was saying to Ryan last night when we were chatting, it feels as if it's been an absolute eternity. That for the last time we've seen Celtic, and it was only just a couple of weeks ago we were in, obviously, Sydney. And obviously this time's a wee bit different, Jace. Don't know if you've picked up on it yourself, mate. It seems to be a media blackout with us this time. First one for a while, I would imagine. Normally pre-season, mid-season, you normally get photos or videos or whatever. But it seems to be everything's getting kept close to the chest for us tour. And I think going with obviously tomorrow, they play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they play Rennes, and the game isn't even on the telly, so it just shows you that everything.
Why is that?
I think it's made to do with the fact that they don't. I think they're a bit of work hard, mate. They've had their time off. He gave them time off after the Sydney Cup, so I think he's gave them, what was it, 7-8 days off. Then they all reported back at Lennoxtown. There was a couple of videos get put up with them back in training, and then all of a sudden there's not even been a photo of them in an airport, nothing. But apparently their families are with them, and I've heard through the grapevine that was part of the reason why the media. They apparently have not took a lot of staff with them as well. I don't know if that's 100%, but this is what we're hearing.
Well, I seen a picture of James McCarthy on Instagram, and it was out there somewhere with his kids and his wife. So I don't know if maybe that's they were there and he was having.
I think he's been given a wee bit extra time off as well, mate, in terms of his injury. So I think he's got a bad injury, mate. In fact, I think he's going to that could potentially blow a move for him in January. Is what I'm hearing, because his injuries, but he's done something to his hammy. So. But no, as I say, I think this one's cards close to the chest stuff, and let's knuckle down and work hard and try and get back at it. And obviously tomorrow we'll maybe be able to gauge the result tomorrow, how we maybe be looking. The boys are sharp, the boys are ready to go. Because obviously then you've got next Saturday coming, and it's coming fast. So I would imagine. Like I say, they're a very hard working in the hot weather because it's warm in Portugal now. So, aye. But it's weird how all we're seeing is photos of them with their families, but we're not really seeing the club photos. I found that very, very weird.
I'm all for it, I think.
Interesting, I think, Jason.
I'm all for it.
I just think it's interesting, mate, like JP says that as well, because normally you do get a lot of media attention when Celtic go away and trips or abroad anywhere. I do believe, I think if you look at the onset now, I think Australia was a publicity stunt. I think it was to show Celtic abroad and show Ange and the Celtic, because let's be fair, we didn't really perform well in Australia. It was friendlies. It was fairly games, but I know Ange wasn't happy, and I understand that. And he'll probably work to rectify whatever mistakes he thought he made in training up to the game next Saturday. But I think Australia was made a publicity stunt by Celtic. I think it was a very good publicity stunt in terms of making money through it. The other team, to other side of the city, didn't go, and I think they're supposedly getting sued for it, so they've lost money and they're going to maybe lose money again. So very good publicity stunt by Celtic. Good experience for some of the young boys to go over as well. Travel with the squad, experience that as well. So I think the Australians worked out for every party, I think, especially the Australians who don't get to see live Celtic live often. So, but in terms of obviously what JP says about the Portugal trip, obviously it's a mini pre-season, probably a mini kind of recovery into the second part of the season. I kind of like it as well. I like it because it's kind of giving maybe the players a bit of respite, no having cameras in their face all the time, no having the media attention on them. It's letting them actually switch off as a human being, not just a football player. For a bit, I don't know what you feel, Jason, but I definitely feel that Celtic have been quite quiet. It's only really been the transfers that have been kind of coming out. Andrew's not really saying much. You don't see any players in the press. There's nobody really even posting on Instagram as much. Social media, they've not really been posting much. So
but the press would have you believe everybody was unhappy.
Aye. Well, according to media,
everybody's away in January.
Well,
but part three of the rebound, sort of, because everybody's getting sold in January.
No, but that, right, see, in regards to that, right, we've been in this rebuild for about fucking 2 years, and you know what I mean? But yet, apart, if you believe what you read in the papers and all that, they're in fucking tip-top shape out there. It's
fucking helpful tip for you there, James, one of the listeners, just while you're talking a big one. He says, a wee small malt whiskey, Jason, if you're feeling a bit unwell, and if that doesn't work, have a big one. That normally works for everybody, James. Cheers for that, mate.
Yeah. I can't have one of them. I'd end up with the fucking full bottle and it'll be me out to fucking Sunday, so...
We've all been there, mate. You should have seen me and Ryan last weekend.
Oh. Aye, heavy one.
We actually won the together. We were at separate nights out, but it was eventful.
Let's just say I was taking the wins out.
We'll put it this way, there's many us on social media about it as a Celtic, you know.
But seems
to be that we've took care for Celtic, big hand.
I think I didn't even know we were away dinner to the Portugal. That's how quiet they've kept it. I just thought it was just. I actually thought they were playing in France.
I know they announced. I think they announced it when Big Ange done his media. Just he sort of spoke about it, and I think it became kind of common knowledge that they were going to Portugal. Obviously,
I don't know. With the whole media not being there.
No, neither they are. Maybe the whole Jolly Boys out and hang on the buys, put them off.
Let's just focus and get on with it. Do you know what I mean? But
that's what I'm saying, Jace. Maybe the whole Jolly Boys out and thing and the buys put them off for the last time when they were all having pool parties and apparently they were all doing this and that, and it was only it was a bit of a downtime. They were actually training, but
see that we were actually talking about that and work the other day about how out of the proportion that was blown and all. Fair enough, they shouldn't have went, but I don't know. I still think there was dodgy stuff going on with COVID tests and all that.
The whole season. I mean, it wasn't just that, Jace. It was the whole season was just a shambles. And like I say, we don't need to. I mean, me and you have probably forgot about it, big man, but we've got Ryan there that just keeps reminding us it time and time again about that season. So I try to put it. I do try for the listeners. I do actually try and put it out my head, but I've got my main man Ronnie there. Just me Andy Gray there keeps reminding me of the start, giving it. No, remember it.
No, but I agree with you, Jason. Like, listen, I'm just stick to views, and I say, but I try and be balanced, but sometimes you just can't be balanced, Jason. We all know there was things behind the scenes with Rangers, and we all know that, right? People can say it, but we all know behind the scenes. We've all had bits and bobs of information. I know for a fact that we all know, I genuinely believe that Tim's never going to happen. See, I look back now, it wasn't going to be allowed to happen.
No, I think
that's when you look back now, just everything that went wrong. 11 players on a park, every single player can't be shite. That just doesn't happen. But yeah, for that season, every game we were honky tonk. The season of all seasons, we were fucking pony. But yeah, before that, before COVID happened, we were flying with the same manager and about the same players. That just doesn't go boom in the space of 4 or 5 months or whatever. That's we can go back and stuff, but I don't want to do that. But I do agree with Jason. I keep highlighting it because it never gets mentioned. It didn't get mentioned in the media, but it happened. Philip Hollander tested positive in the morning of, I think it was a Fall Cup game, so he didn't train 3 days or 2 days before then. Nobody had to isolate, but yet Julian was in fucking holiday with Celtic, and I think was it 6 players and staff or
Julian
something.
Shouldn't have been there, but he couldn't fucking walk.
I get that, right? But
13, it was 13 of the, between the playing staff and the management that had to isolate, right?
Aye, that's what I'm saying, because of...
That no, we played Hibs and Livingston, minute.
Aye, but because they were sitting in together, which he tacked him that Philip Hollander's no trained with his team, he's not been involved around the squad, etc. But yet they played Fall Cup with nobody having to isolate. That's all I need to say, and that's
look at the ones that went to the house party.
Oh, aye, but I just
say another one.
It's fine.
Well, I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard there was more than what was let out at that house party. There was maybe a squad of them that went.
Well,
it was just people that get let out.
I don't know much about it, but
I heard that at party, by the way, on the toilet roll was still because they were absolutely shaking themselves.
There was no water left in them either.
Aye, because Big Burner, Bobby Boucher ran away with all the H2O for the party.
I seen James's. I can't forget that season, mate. No, because of how bad it was, just because of things. But it just there's just too much. There's just too much stuff involved for how that season went. Right, it's just there's so much involved. It's not just about the football.
See, before that season, but when we went into lockdown, we were due to play them at Ibrox, and we were going to batter them. By the way, we were about to get a hold of them at Ibrox.
Well, 13.
That was actually the day my daughter was born. Do you know that?
Was it?
Was it?
Aye, and had the game went ahead, I still wouldn't have seen it because she wasn't born till like 17 minutes past 4 that day.
Aye, Jason, we were 13 points ahead. They were 1 point. No, they were 1 game, and I think they were 1 game in hand. I'm sure. So there'd been maybe 10. Because I'm guessing. I don't know, right?
15th of March 2020. That's how I'll remember that day because obviously my daughter was born that day. So
Jason, we were playing good football at the time.
A good day for you then, JP.
It would have been a good day. Well, I'm preempting it would have been a good day.
I do believe it. We won that game because we were flying. We were starting to play really good football. I know fans will slaughter Lennon and maybe slaughter some of the players or what happened the season after it. But before that, we were playing okay stuff with Lennon. We were scoring goals. We were flying at the time in the league. I think Rangers were maybe a game less than after. So I think they were a game to start to play, but so it might have been 10 points. But it might have still been 13, obviously, if we won at Ibrox. I believe it'd have been 15, 16, 8. It'd have been a lot more than what it was. Because I'm sure it was only March, so he still had maybe 2 and a bit months to go. And we all know Rangers fans can deny it all they want, but I've seen some actual decent Rangers fans commenting on it on social media and people that I know. Rangers were in a bad place with Gerrard. They were getting booed. As they were
that saved his job.
In my opinion,
100%.
In my opinion, it saved his job. But listen, it's all ground. I don't want to talk too much on it, but just when you said that, Jason, I just thought it was good to mention the game because it never gets mentioned. We won a treble that season, basically, and obviously, Big Julian scored a goal. And if this was yesterday, didn't get mentioned in the papers. Didn't get mentioned.
Doesn't fit the agenda, but didn't it? No.
Celtic won our trophy. It doesn't get mentioned. But when we lose a game, it's Celtic in crisis. 1 game in 46.
Do you know? I think we've
included. What was it Hugh Keevins says a few weeks ago? Celtic season's imploding.
3 times he's said it. 3 times imploded.
Pass with parcel from my house up to Mr. for Christmas present.
Do you know what the funniest thing I've seen out of this break? Right? On Twitter. is that fucking Ian Beale is the most the chased after fucking coach and your young coach in fucking European football. Fucking what? Come on, fuck. It's honest fuck, man. And no,
he's that chased after he was a ball here, maybe away for getting the bullet with QPR.
See, the thing is, my mate said it before, like, see if he was that good, why did QPR put up a fight to lose him? They just went, well, you can go if you want. Know what I mean?
That's
I think
interesting.
as an honest, you've got to ask yourself a question as to why he didn't take the Wolves job. And then 35 days later, he takes that job.
See the thing with the Wolves job, he was only going for an interview. Wasn't it like he was offered it?
No, he was a top target, and he was offered that, mate.
Worked it better for Wolves, but look who they got.
No, that doesn't mean anything, but just because he failed it. He didn't. He got sacked to Spain, didn't he, for taking the Real Madrid job, remember?
Yeah.
And then it didn't work out in the end there too well from Sevilla. So he's got a listen. Premier League's a different ball game altogether, doesn't it? That's a 90-day jump to, but if you're in the Championship, it's a 90-day jump to what you're used to. It's and maybe I don't know. Maybe he just didn't see himself ready to take that step. Maybe he probably thinks in his own head that he's coming up here to actually be successful. But what is success for him? Because in my opinion, they're not going to win the league. As long as Andrew's still here, they're not winning that league.
That's a harder job than that Wolves job, but surely fuck.
They're a bigger team, with a bigger following, first and foremost, but they don't have he's under pressure week in and week out to win games now. At least with Wolves, you've got a baby of drawing and no winning. Because they're not really, let's be honest, they ain't going to win the Premier League.
At Wolves, you would get time to build a squad and all that, but he's not going
to
get
that time. But his recruitment policy at QPR seems to be, he done more wheeling and dealing in Del Boy Trotter. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, you can't see when you're a manager of a football team, mate. See, unless you're bringing in quality to add to your squad, forget it, mate. There's big alarm bells ringing now because him and now he's number 2, the guy that he brought up for Liverpool. He, both of them, at separate occasions now, have mentioned the fact that they need to promote the youth. As a fan of that,
I'm not shocked by that.
No, but it would raise alarm bells with me, mate, as to where we are now. Because can they afford now to just fling in some of the boys?
But see,
to chase. So you think you can just throw in the boys to chase Celtic?
But no, but I don't think it's going to be a choice.
But promoting youth
should
be a yearly, that should be a recurrence that you shouldn't need to highlight that. That should be happening anyway.
No, I know, Ryan, but now see, because the injuries, mate, they're now going to need an influx of players.
There's a difference between promoting them and relying on them, but relying on them.
The thing is, they've got that many injuries, mate. They're now going to have to throw these boys in. It's when they're
signing Ryan Porteous. I think that's fucking brilliant.
Remember our old team when they brought up the Valuation pet mob?
Mm-hmm.
5 guys for the Jordan, the Valuation pet, remember? Big Jimmy Neal and co. But when they came in, I was like to myself, oh, here we go. And then that interview with Kenny McDowell. So do these players actually need to go straight into the team? Yes. And what about your current squad? Do they know about it? Well, they do. They know now. What a way to run. I wouldn't trust any of them to run a bath. I'm serious. Come on. What a way to operate. And then the other day, we saw with that EGM with Douglas Park.
Oh,
and he was asked about, we want to win as many trophies as we can and be as successful as we can. Really, what he should have said is, we need to wait till Celtic leave this league before we can win as many trophies as we can and before we can be as successful as we can.
Did you see that, man? I know, JP, where they were talking to that Ross Wilson about fucking his signings and all that, and it was like he rhymed off that fucking Bacuna and all that, and that Ross Wilson was just sitting there fucking face like fucking.
Aye, shaking his head and not got a clue whether it's New Year or New York.
Aye. It's fucking. And then another one where Douglas Park said about the 5-year plan, it was to win trophies, and then he's like that, it was to win games and all. So what
I know, but what as I said to Ryan last night, he was sitting there with
5-year plan to beat Kilmarnock away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's a 5-year plan to get results at Kilmarnock away and all that. It's fucking.
But what I said to Ryan last night, he was also sitting there with something in that sippy cup that Gio's left. He's obviously washed it out. You know what I mean? Lipton iced tea he was drinking, I think.
See like Celtic Rangers, right? You can't. It's already having a plan, right? You've got to have a plan at every club. I mean, you come in, you've got to have your goals and your policy and what you want to do. You've obviously got to plan for the future, right? But for Ange, it was basically just this season, last year. Sorry, we need to rebuild for obviously the Champions League and the qualifiers, and right, we'll get to that stage, and in January we'll build and we'll get to there. And it was always we'll take every game that comes, we go. But for me, Rangers have got to go for just an out of the summer. Get this and done the first time, rebuild and try and get as close as possible. And then you look at the summer. They can't build the summer now because you've still got 6 months left of the season or 5 months to try and get us first before you think about the summer.
Yeah.
Often that squad isn't going to be there, but
we're kind of in a stage where you know what to take the foot off the gas, you know what to be complacent. You still, as 9 points is a bit of a gap, but you still need to keep going. You still need to keep winning games because we all know football can change and fucking any game in any matter. But you've got a slight, Ange's got a slight eye for already on guys he's want to bring in the summer. But if they want to do, Rangers have got a big summer ahead. I don't care what anybody says. They've got guys with a contract. They've got guys who don't want to be there. We have got guys roughly that might go, i.e. maybe Janovic, maybe O'Reilly might get business somewhere, we don't know. But we've got assets to sell if we need to sell and then go and buy. In my opinion, if they get assets now, no, they maybe did when they won the league, but then nobody wanted them. Yeah. I don't think their plan for just take away my Celtic specs for a football fan. I don't know what plan they've got. The identity under Gio. He was signing guys. I know for a fact. I don't know for a fact as in I've heard anything. Just in my own opinion, I think it's a fact that Aaron Ramsey was no his sign because that's not a style of play. He didn't sign one Dutch player. You think it's the first thing you do? Like Andrew signed guys who he's managed, and Aaron Moy who's had it and that. He signed guys who he knows and trusts. Gio, but he didn't have that luxury. Mm-hmm. For me, his pattern article or his pattern shot, his interview, whatever he says, that was ring alarm bells to me. Things above me, behind the scenes. That's no good to know. Which don't mind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
What Walsh is trying to say that he's picking the players. I'm so glad that our club. I don't really want to talk about the name anymore, but in terms of our club, JP, I'm so glad that we spoke to Jonathan Burns and he says how highly Mark Lowell is obviously thought of.
Yeah,
we've obviously seen some of the work him and Michael Nixon have done. Obviously, Peter Lowell's fans might not like about Peter Lowell coming back. That season, but if you take away that season, would he get as much flack as he has? Probably no, because he got a lot of trophies. Listen, I didn't want him back, but if he's only going to be involved in what I think his remit is the basically running the club, the financial, actually the recruitment and anything, staying away from that.
He's not dealing many of that.
As long as that's the case, then his added experience is going to help you that side of it. But see, I do get fans saying they don't want me. I do get it because it has get back in all ground. You want to move forward and modernise the club, right? But they brought in Mark Lowell, Nicholson, so they're modernised and just modernising itself with backroom staff. So that'll take care. Lowell, I don't think is going to have a bigger say that some fans have. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think we are moving in a good direction, JP. I think we've got a very, I don't want to say world class manager, but he's an elite manager in my opinion. I think very good very, very good manager. Again, I don't like selling players. I don't want to sell my manager, but I think I think some fans might know maybe one of these things, maybe with similar to Ivanovic, when he goes, they might go, you know what, that guy was a very good player.
Mm-hmm.
Even some of the media, but that guy was fucking top notch. Even for me, Newby Rodgers, that guy was top notch. I left, man, but that guy was top notch. Sometimes it takes somebody to go to actually go, fuck, say that guy or that player, that manager, he was good, wasn't he? And I think when Ange, if he does leave, I think then when you start to reflect, you go, by the way, he was fucking brilliant because you're in the moment and you're caught up in the goldfish bowl, you're caught up every game, every week. You don't really sit down and think how good the guy is. But sometimes when you've had this break, and I've looked at obviously previous games and what he's done, and we've spoken about it on this podcast plenty of times, JP, what that guy's done at Celtic, he still doesn't get the credit of some media outlets and maybe some fans of Scottish football for what he's done. And every team he's played against him says the football is brilliant, they can't get near Celtic. And like I said to you last night, JP, that's us having the best starts of the season. So what's it going to be when the players are fully rested? You've basically got a full squad, I think, apart from McCarthy, and there's somebody else in the top of my head, I can't remember.
Midaguchi.
That's it, Midaguchi. That are based up to full strength.
That's why I'm here, mate.
That's why you're the gaffer, right, mate?
That's why I'm a gaffer, mate. That's it.
So I do believe we're going in the right direction. I've got no qualms about who plays in the squad now. We've got a proper identity of football. We've got a proper philosophy. I think that when it comes to the summer, they'll have a big. Some of the fans will take a step back and go, right, fuck, we are on a rebuild now. And I think they're going to have a bigger rebuild than us because they're not going to have the money to financially go and spend £20 million to recoup a squad. But we didn't spend £20 million because it's money we brought in. So we've not actually paid £20 million out Celtic's bank. But as in like Desmond's no went, there you go, there's £20 million, guys. That's not the case. They think that's the case. But it's not.
No, definitely no. Same again as last night, mate. How the fuck my mate to follow that? 25 minutes of the podcast gone, and it's just with him telling that story about Peter Lawler. Unbelievable.
Sion Idaguchi, though. I think he's away, isn't he?
Well, it looks like, there's rumours going about saying that Ange is looking to move him on, which is probably fair because he's. Has he going to do it? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be able to.
Feel sorry for him. So didn't really get a.
I feel sorry for him as well, Jace, but sometimes players come and go, mate. Look at Gary Mackay-Steven. We all thought he was a good player. He just stayed static and didn't want to take his game to that next level the way Stuart Armstrong was able to. You get players like that, mate. Some players, when you give them a pathway for development, quite a lot of players will develop and they'll get better and they'll progress. Other players just don't want to. Other players just want to stay static and they want to, and that's it. And they move on. That's what happens. As Anne says, mate, they'll just go on another bus. You know what I mean? That's what happens. If you're not on board with what he started today, you'll get on another bus. So, no, and that brings us to the point of this, why we're here tonight, which is Celtic's potential assets and what we could be looking for in potential transfer fees for certain players now. Before any of the listeners start commenting in and before people start having a go, I'm not wanting to sell anybody. But I'm not naive enough or deluded enough to think that we are going to end up having to move players on in terms of to either reinvest in the squad or progress the squad further. And Ange has already told us this. He's already says Celtic fans are going to have favourites. We need to progress it forward. For us to make inroads and becoming better at the Champions League level, we were all frustrated with the campaign pass. But we were all, bearing in mind, guys, we were all frustrated with the campaign pass. We hadn't been in the fucking thing for 5 years. And we're frustrated. That's how well we done. So, think about, could you imagine if we were in there for the last 5 years? We'd have ran the tappy teams like Leipzig and Shakhtar Donetsk. And I don't want to be disrespectful and say, but if we'd 5 year of building with Ange and 5 year in the Champions League consecutively, I don't have any doubts that we wouldn't be goal shy. We would have the guys there ready, experienced enough to come in and, turn it on and make it great. Obviously, the squad itself was very inexperienced at that level. So that was another massive reason as to why we never really done as well as what we thought we should have done. But in terms of potential assets, out with Joe Hart, you're looking at probably sell-on value. Maybe Jens, because he's not yet our player. But there's a sell-on value with everybody. Now, when you start talking Dembele dollars, that's when you get guys who have just got to the semi-final of the World Cup, like Josip Juranovic, and no fucking Bobby Boucher for the other side of the water. I'm not meaning him. But Juranovic is going to make Celtic a few quid, definitely. And he's now just, because his price tag's now going up. I've actually just stole my point here. I've just seen a wee comment here for Shelly Tick. Nobody's bigger than the club. Players come, players will go, but the club will always be there. Aye, always. Shelly, that's totally 100% correct. I agree with you there, pal. I totally agree with that point. Ryan, Jace, I totally agree with you. I think that, years gone past have proven that. We were all gutted when Henrik was moving on, and we thought, oh, fucking hell, this is end of days and this and that. But he went and we missed him for a period of time, and then we brought in another striker who took on the mantra of being the main man, and there's always somebody who'll come along and be the main man on the team. That's just the way it is. Now, to what level that might be, and people they always get compared to guys like Jimmy Johnson and Kenny Dalglish and Henrik Larsson and all the legends of the clubs like Paul McStay and John Collins and boys that every one of the guys I've mentioned I've seen play for Celtic. So I've had the luxury there. I've just round off 3 or 4 of them. But this Celtic squad, I think our assets, when you're looking at boys like Kyogo, Giacomakis, Jota, Haksabanovic, Bernabe, they're all signed up in long-term contracts. Juranovic, definitely, he's, by the way, I don't care what anybody says, right? Celtic fans can have a go at me on this, I don't care. Juranovic is Oski. He's Oski. He's away, which is why he's brought in Alistair Johnson. There's been a conversation obviously taking place behind the scenes that we're not privy to. And Anne's being so proactive, he's thought to himself, nah, do you know what? I'm not going to be left holding the baton here. I'm going to go and be proactive, and I'm going to go and get a replacement in right away. I also now puts the ball into Juranovic's court to say, right, you want to go, on you go, but you better make up your mind soon, because I brought another guy in now who'll come in and he's going to challenge to take your place. So if you want to mope about and you want to, show a negative attitude towards it, then fine. You'll just not play. I'll bring somebody else in, I'll play. It's that simple. And I love that attitude, I really do, guys. But Jace, I'll come to you. In terms of assets for the squad, mate, and the way the squad's shaped up at the moment, in your opinion, what would you say, in your sort of view, what would you say as your potential assets and ones that could also then demand a bigger fee, or we could demand a bigger fee for at this present time?
Are you meaning like valuation or just
obviously, don't forget, I mean, you've not just got the valuation of the player, you've then got his players are now commodities, they're now attractions. They're now you don't just buy a player, you buy everything that represents that player and comes with that player. So that these players have got backgrounds as well. They've got families. They've got images. So you're not just buying a player. You've got all that taken into consideration. And that goes into every transfer as well. So it's not just a case of people get frustrated going, why Celtic not just go and get him? Because it's not that fucking easy. Transfer deals can take weeks.
Yep.
Today. Weeks.
So we've seen that with the Jota deal.
It takes weeks of pro. The Jota deal was always going to happen, though, Jason. I mean, that was he signed up a 5-year deal with Barhead Travel and we didn't know about it. Know what I mean? So he just decided to go fucking jet set and all the other place before he actually got here. I reckon he's racked up a few stamps in his passport by now.
I think
that was always going to happen, in my opinion, mate.
I do agree with you. I think Granovic is. I think he's away. I think it's been in the pipeline for quite some time. I think obviously they've had a conversation before he's went to the World Cup. Because if you notice this season, he's not been playing as much. Ralston's been coming in and playing. Do you know what I mean?
I said to Ryan earlier, actually, he's not actually put it this way. The guy I saw tonight playing against Brazil, he's not made one appearance for Celtic like that this season, in my opinion.
I think Juranovic, he was turned at the start of the summer. I think he wanted to go in the summer, but he was like, Andrew's like, no, you're not going, base. But now that I think he's in the semi-final World Cup, I think Celtic will need to name their prize. For me,
he's in the semi-final of the League Cup as well. Come on, we've got Kilmarnock. A nice wee cosy Saturday night, 5:30 kick-off under the lights at the National Stadium. Never mind the World Cup. Come on.
Fucking National Stadium. I think Celtic could get I reckon between 25 and 30 million for Juranovic. People might laugh at that.
No. It's a big
the rest of that Croatia team's going to go. That's why is he not on par with them? He's in the same team just because he plays his football in Scotland. As I said, he's on a long-term deal. So
surely we Gale Platt in the midfield's not got long left, but
Gale Platt.
surely we Gale's not got long left, eh? Come on. He takes penalty well tonight, right enough. He took that well today, but he's surely not got long left. And then again, you look at that, they've not really got anybody to replace him. So are they going to struggle?
Fucking Gale Platt.
Gale Platt, that's brilliant. And then you've got Jota. Then you've got Jota. He's going to go for funny money, I think. Well, you're going to because you've got a lot of you've got a lot of the Portuguese side and all that will come back into that. I think he'll go for funny money. I think Carter Vickers will go for funny money. I know, by the way. Got a very
steady on, big man. You've just signed this. You're trying to get rid of him already, man.
I'm being realistic. I know these players are eventually going to go.
Hugh Keevins agent here.
You know what I mean? Carter Vickers, the game that he played in the World Cup, fucking thrilled it, in my opinion. I thought that was USA's best game.
I found it really baffling as to how he only played the one game as well. I just didn't get why.
I'll tell you,
he's a lot more mobile than the other two boys that played. The boy Zimmerman and the boy Diaz.
Because of the club he plays for, because of the league he plays in. To get that
he played in the Champions League though, so surely that's got to stand in.
Aye, but obviously if you play at Fulham, you're going to get fucking picked first for some fucking weird reason. Matt O'Reilly, I think. I just think we've got the team.
A year and a half ago, mate, he was playing League One football.
That's fucking incredible. And then you've got the Japanese boys. I know that's also if you're there's a lot of money that you're going to make in Japan. Do you know what I mean? You've got a lot of merchandise in Japan, merchandise in Australia with Aaron Moy, and then obviously with Ange as well. So, it's but Celtic. I've never known us to be in this position of kinda in a wee bit of control. Whether it's if the players want to move on, they can go, but you'll need to pay what we want. It's not a pure like fuck. They've got fucking 3 months left in their contract. We'll take the £3 million for, even though we paid £7 million for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We're not in that position.
Aye, we've been that proactive, and but
if Chelsea or Man U want Juranovic, he can have him, but it's 30 million. It's 30 million down there is fuck all anyway. That's a punt down there?
I'm going to be honest, and again, the old cliche of Scottish football, I don't think we'll get that from. If anything, I think we might get 20 top whack. And I know we're going to say, well, that's fucking terrible. We shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have.
That's because of his age, though, JP? Do you think that's because people like that he's 27?
I guess because he played with Celtic. And he plays with Scotland. It shouldn't, but it does. Well, I think it does because Kieran Tierney, in my opinion, at the time we thought 25. I know he's been injured, so as it comes to right now, it looks a good deal. But if you look at it on his quality and what he can do, £25 million, Arsenal robbed us. It looks good for us, £25 million at the time. But for me, he's one of the best left backs in the world at his full pomp. When he's fully fit, he's one of the best left backs.
He can't get a game with him, but
he's injured. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, Zinchenko's come in and done well. So similar to us with Wilson, they've been swamped with 2 men in the cup games and all that and stuff. But I just think that's the reason why. That's the reason why we don't get as much money.
But Ryan, I would agree, but they were close about a Celtic Bassey for about, was he not about 25 million?
To be fair,
no.
Janovic is better than him.
No.
Funny, you know what?
Actually, no. See their pals in the media, they're portraying it like they got 25 million for him. I watched a thing a couple of weeks ago and it was James McFadden. They get £17 million for him total.
Was that for add-ons and all that sort of shit?
That was with the add-ons. So it was less than that again. So upfront fee, I think, was something like a 15 million upfront. Then it was like 2 or 3 with add-ons. It wasn't much at all. And I remember watching, it was something James McFadden was on, and he mentioned that. I can't remember if it was one of the Open Goal podcasts or something, but it was definitely. He was on something, he was chatting about it, and that's what he says. He said, don't believe what you hear. He says, because they've got pals in the media that portray fucking, one of their pals put out a story on Christmas Day about 7 years ago even, remember? 6, 7 years ago, that Moussa Dembele had signed for Brighton.
Aye.
I just felt, that's enough for the wine. You know what I mean? That's just enough for the... That's enough for a Prosecco, mate. Get off my telly.
I do think, like...
What about you, Ryan? What do you think in terms of the... I know you're foaming at the mouth there, talking big money chat here, you know what I mean? With the old cha-ching, the old pound signs. But what do you think? What do you see in this current Celtic team, assets, potential-wise?
Well, Janovic is definitely one of your biggest assets right now. I think he's one of the players...
I think they can all agree on that, definitely.
The players that go further in his career in terms of, again, Celtic's a massive club, but at Celtic, we all know there is only so far you can get, and that is winning leagues, and obviously that's still amazing, right? But some players do get sick of playing in Scotland, and that's just, we just need to realise that that's just what happens. In the Champions League, if we keep being in the Champions League, it will benefit us longer term because players will want to come. The only downside is because we can't afford to give guys 60 something in the week. And if you did give somebody 40 in the week, right, just say Janovic, listen, Stein will give you 60 a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or give him 60 a week, but other clubs can give him fucking £100 a week if they want. Do you know what I mean? Teams like, see if somebody like, I don't know, at Chelsea, they're talking about Chelsea, I think my dad's teams like that want them, right? See if Chelsea want you, Chelsea will get you. If my dad want you, they'll get you. These clubs don't mess about. They'll persuade you, they'll give you whatever they'll give you whatever they can to get you that. We've not got the luxury to do that. We've got the luxury of maybe offering Champions League, maybe offering you, I'm not actually guaranteeing trophies, but you're guaranteed to basically have a dogfight between us and Rangers for every title in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
You probably guarantee European football or some capacity if it's qualifying or if it's group stage or whatever. So,
what kind of dog do you think it is? It's the dog fight? Because right now it's like a fucking Rottweiler versus a Chihuahua.
I know. Aye. But I do agree with Jason as well that in terms of if they can get a decent amount for Bassey, who had, in my opinion, 3 to 4 good months, because before the latter end before the latter end of the run in Europe, Lundstrom and Bassey were getting hounded after press, hounded after Rangers fans, not good enough. But yet, because of 4 month tops, they had good run in Europe. That same brilliant players, you need to realistically. Bassey's getting slow. Again, I don't watch Scottish football, so I don't know how he's doing. I'm only going by what I'm seeing on people's social media, and I think somebody, I think it was Cruyff or somebody was coming out saying that he's passing gives him sight for sore eyes. That's what I'm seeing. This is me making up.
What's the brother?
No, Cruyff. Jordi Cruyff.
Cruyff, I might be wrong. I'm sure it was Cruyff, but somebody...
It was Jordi Cruyff.
Was it? Jordi Cruyff says that Calvin Bassey's passing, his distribution, gives him a sight for sore eyes.
He says he couldn't pass one.
So in my opinion, we should be looking at as a club, forget your £10 million, forget that. That's for his left foot. He's right. Honestly, I know what people are saying about he's not really done amazingly this year for Celtic, but he's still been decent in my opinion. He's still he's been all right.
No, he has. No,
right? He's had maybe a few mistakes in Europe, right? But like he says, we've all made mistakes. That's why we finished bottom. That's a simple fact. I think he's very good. When we first signed him, I was really, really, really happy we got him, and the value we got him for. I've seen a lot of fans, obviously, a bad reaction. We all have overhyped comments when stuff comes out. I prefer Rouse, and I'm like this. Listen, I'll even say it to Tony's face. Tony, you've been brought for Celtic since you've done well this year, but he's never near Juranovic. Never near him. I don't care what anybody says. That performance today has totally made my mind up on it. He's never near Rouse, and Rouse has done better than I've done in my career. He's a steady Eddie for Celtic. He can come in and play, no bother. But if we want to get to the top that Andrew's wanting us to get, then he can't be a right back going forward if it's every week. That's just no going to happen. Guys like Juranovic has to be a right back going forward or better. I think he'll go for decent money. Like Jason says, O'Reilly, he's one of your biggest assets. Biggest asset, Jota, but for me the biggest asset is probably your manager. I think Andrew, obviously McGregor is probably a biggest asset on the part in terms of if he was to go, I think he maybe Jota, but I think he would get the biggest money because he's a captain. I think I've said in this podcast, probably every podcast, McGregor for me can play in every league in the world. I think he's top notch. I rate him very high.
You actually text me that every day, mate. I'm actually getting sick of it.
I think because he's playing with Scotland and Celtic, and he's no on the TV every single week like they are down south and Match of Day and all that and stuff. I think he's very, 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 very good. I think he's top notch. But I do feel that Ange is probably the biggest asset at the club. You lose him, you've got to get somebody. Again, this is just me talking on assets. I don't think he's not going to go for, in my opinion. But whoever comes in has to be the same quality. No, let me done me wrong. Again, Len done well in his first spell, done okay in his first spell, got to some very good players. He done okay until that season. But you can't bring in a lesser manager. You've got to keep going forward. You need to keep the identity going that Andrew's brought in. But assets, mate, in terms of players, like you say, Vickers, Jota, all right. I can just about name. I've signed what you said, JP, before this question. I think I said the same all night. Apart from Joe Hart, every man in your starting 11 will get you. In my opinion, if you were going to start out right, when he's fit, he plays with Sweden in some capacity, either in the squad or he starts. Vickers, he's in the squad with USA. His value's going up in the World Cup. Greg Taylor, in my opinion, will be playing with Scotland more often, so that's going to be more value. Bernabe's one of the big cap with Argentina, and in my opinion, he's going to be a belter. Even Tumble worth a few million if he goes in. I know he's not playing every week, but when he plays, I think he's decent. Mate, I can basically ram off everyone in your squad that can get you assets, but if you want to talk about for mega money, I think Juranovic. I don't think Kyogo and Jackie Marcus will maybe get the money that I think we maybe think.
No.
I think we should. I just don't think there's just. I don't know if it's because of the Champions League, but I don't think you still should demand at least 10 to 15 million, in my opinion, because I know they're very good. But I think in terms of what maybe down south, I'm maybe just looking at the down south market. I think they would want to look at better in terms of paying money for players. But O'Reilly for me, Jota, Juranovic.
Surely it's just based on the goal return, no?
Who?
I'm saying surely it's based on the goal return, no?
I do agree that, but do I think Jack Massey Kyogo would be amazing down south? I think he would do well, but Kyogo maybe a bit more, depends who he goes to, but I don't. Could I see the two playing with top four? Kyogo maybe but I maybe top 10, but I don't think your guys like Jota have got a bit more. Kyogo maybe a push but I think Jota's probably in terms of special talent. I think Jota's probably your biggest asset in terms of special talent. I think, like you say, JP's, all these guys are going to go for good money because they're on long-term deals. That's, I think, the thing Celtic have done well in. They've got them on long-term deals. But Jota, for me, I think you can ask anything for that guy. I really do. I'm not talking about 100 million anything. I'm talking about your 30s, your 35s, because the fact that he was in the Portugal 54, that's telling you he's in their mind frame for the squad, and maybe within the next 2 or 3 years it could be fully capped. So I think, but I still agree that I think the manager's probably a biggest asset at the club.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Ryan. Definitely, especially obviously when it comes to.
Sorry, one guy I missed. I've seen a comment. That's a good point.
No, I'm just don't steal my thunder.
When you go in, you
steal my thunder. My next point was going to be, I agree with you in terms of Hans Postecoglou. Chase, I'm going to put this comment to yourself, mate. Shelley has messaged in saying, what about Abada? What would he be worth? He's a young man as well. So, again, big goal for it, in my opinion. In my opinion, even about my Celtic team. Many times have I said that to you, Ryan. I think he's got that killer instinct. I think he goes for the jugular. He knows when to make runs. He knows where he smells and spots danger a mile away, and he gets his goals.
I don't think he's. If he gets his final product, I know that sounds goals, but in terms of his crossing and some of his touches, etc. To be honest with his game, I think he's off.
Well, I heard he had the BMX now out there, mate, and he got himself a wee number with Just Eat there, working on that delivery, as you say, you know what I mean? So he was doing his best. I think he took on board what you're saying. But just based on what Shelley was saying there, what about yourself? Where do you see Abada coming in terms of the assets, etc.? Do you see that as a possible asset? Or,
I think it's a very possible asset. I think Abada's very underrated, I think, in this Celtic squad. I think he gets the credit that he probably deserves. I think he gets left out the squad.
Good point, Shelley.
I think that's a very good point.
I
think he gets left out the squad quite unfairly for me sometimes.
Well, just like that, we never met. We've mentioned everybody else apart from
him. But I think probably he scored a hat-trick this season. I think up Dundee United, and I think he was dropped the next week or something. If I remember correctly.
Scored two against them at Parkhead, I know, the 4-0 game.
And I don't think it's because Ange doesn't rate him. I think he just has his philosophy that maybe Maid does better in that position, or the hacks about or whatever it is it's playing in that position better.
Yeah.
But mate, I think when Abada's on form and he's playing, mate, he's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Especially against them.
He scored a few goals against them.
He rises to the occasion with him.
Yes,
and
he does.
He got us out of a few situations last season because he was playing up front when Kyogo and Yakimakis were injured, and he played all right. You could play him up front and they would do all right. Do you know what I mean?
I just hope Big Andrew's went into his room now and get that big cardboard cut out of Courtois out of his bedroom, because the boy will end up in his head all the time, you know what I mean?
I think it's just, again, he's a wee bit, maybe a wee bit immature at that sort of for that stage, maybe the Champions League stage. I think, as I say, as we've said in previous pods, I think sometimes you just need to, there's certain bits he needs to tidy up his game.
As Ryan says as well there, that was a kind of bits his delivery, he rushes things when he shouldn't, he passes when he shouldn't, he doesn't pass when he should. I know what you mean, because but that all come, mate, I mean, he's only just turned 20, you know what I mean? What were we doing at 20?
I can't.
What's that?
Playing me action man in the bath.
I can't discuss what I was doing at 20 on this podcast.
Right. That's for another time.
That's for another podcast.
You've never actually explained how you've got these 7 cameras in that living room, Biggie.
That's his only fans he's talking about.
Hi, Sammy.
Forget about the podcast. Subscribe to Jason number 9.
Aye. Big Jason number 9. You get a special delivery every Friday.
But £5 a month.
Subscribe now and you get 5 free fridge magnets for you and your friends.
Oh, fuck. But I think if he tidied his game up, I think he'll go for decent money.
No, I agree, mate. Because I know Chris were scooting about him in the summer there, scouting him and stuff. So 9 times out of 10, these scouts don't leave. Like, they don't, because they don't get you once, they don't just leave. So he's
right. Sorry to cut in. I'm just going to ask Lindsay, who are you referring to there? Because obviously we spoke about quite a number of the players there. So are you meaning Juranovic, or is it someone else you're talking about? Just give us a wee comment and let us know who you mean.
OnlyFans.
Oh, is it your OnlyFans, big man? Right, okay. Is that one of your subscribers? Okay. Right, okay. It's all right, Lindsay, you don't need to tell us. Big Jace is just, I don't want to say fill us in, because that's a different meaning as well, but he's kind of let us know, you know.
But I
hope you're doing all right, man. I think you need a drink.
No, Lindsay, I agree. I think he'll be here for a wee bit longer than maybe
Juranovic.
Juranovic.
I think that's who she means. I think she means Juranovic. I don't think she means Jason's OnlyFans.
See, ideally, right? Obviously, you've got to strike when iron's hot in terms of your money situation, right? But there could be an agreement where they might go, do you know what, maybe we'll sell him the summer, but I think you won't get as much money. I think after these performances, he started off, I think it was at the first game or the second game, the first half is a nightmare. I was like, whoa, he's not done well here, but in the second half, sure it was the second game, he came into it in the second game, and then the third game he was good, and then obviously this game today was best on the park. He had big Vinicius in his back pocket. He was brilliant. I think he won all his duels and.
I'm afraid his back pocket at Celtic Park, but we're not getting into that.
Fuck off. I do agree.
Sorry, I felt he's a bit of a dinosaur.
I did see in an ideal world, I don't want to sell players, but there's a time and a place where you sell players, and after World Cup, when you do well, it's probably one of the best times to sell a player. I.e. Juranovic, I think he will go, and I think it will be between at least 15 to £20 million. I think it's all Celtic don't need to sell him. So I think it's all to do with what the club want and what the club come to with.
Yes.
I do feel because I signed Johnston, they've got a decision to make. Either do they sell Juranovic or do they decide what to do with Alston? Because I don't think Johnston's going to be going anywhere apart from playing in the first team. So like I said to you last night, JP.
But Johnson, you talk about Mikey or Alistair?
Alistair.
It's going to be interesting if he comes back.
Anyway.
It's going to be interesting. Oh, by the way, you're a big man. Don't start writing people up because I'm telling you right now, the wee man's turning it up over in Portugal now.
Mikey Johnson's been told he's back at Celtic next year, for what I know.
Yes, that's what we've been told.
He's told he'll be back.
I think Ange rates him very highly.
Mm-hmm.
I think this spell was either if you go and do well, then you'll obviously come back and we'll maybe take a look at you again. But I think it was kind of a decision either if I think he's maybe thought to himself, I need to go well and do well here, experience something. And he's done that by all accounts. I think the Victoria Gomares fans have took to him. He was in an interview recently. They asked him about
Many Messi are calling him earlier.
Aye. They were asking him, do you want to stay here? Or he said, look, I can't stay here.
It's not an option.
So he knows he's only there to get.
Have you not got the option to buy on him now?
No. He was asked in an interview a few weeks ago, Jace, about him staying with Victoria Gomares, and he said it's not an option. My future's at Celtic.
I think Juranovic owned what Lindsay's saying. In an ideal world, I'd love to keep my best players, and because the league's no finished yet. You want to keep your best players, and then if the league was won, I wish the Monday would maybe finish then, and you go right on you go. But that's no football, it's no place. So I think the best bet would be Lindsay. I think it would be selling when his stock's high, and this is probably the highest stock he's going to get at Celtic. I don't think he's going to get any higher because in 6 months' time, and games until the summer. So he's not really going to be playing apart from Celtic TV, so he's not going to get as much coverage. This is where his coverage will be the highest because of the European football for Celtic. So I think he'll be away if the offer's correct for Celtic. As I say, Celtic don't need to sell, so Celtic have got all the power.
I think he should, to be fair, Ryan, I think he's done, mate. I think he's
away, mate.
I'm being honest, I think he's off ski, and I think that's why we've seen Alistair Johnson being brought in. In terms of
I think he wanted to go in the summer.
I think so, TJ. I think it kind of looks a wee bit like no toys out the pram, but it kind of looks a wee bit like he's kind of each turn, so he's not been given his full 100%. See what we saw tonight against Brazil? That's him at his pomp.
That's Juranovic.
That's the Juranovic we signed.
Aye.
And that's him at his pomp.
Yeah.
But in terms of...
Do you think that it is quite remarkable, though, that he's got to the age of 27 and he's not been picked up until we've set to sign him and sort of get him into the limelight?
Listen, mate,
he was at Legia Warsaw before us. That's fucking unbelievable.
And before that, he was with Hajduk Split. From my memory serves me right. Mm-hmm. So it's all down to timing, lads. It's all down to the time. Football's all about timing. It's all about, look at Scott Sinclair. Scott Sinclair was playing left back for fucking Aston Villa. Sometimes he wasn't even getting it again. He came up here and they looked like fucking Ronaldinho. So it's all about timing. Certain clubs in a moment of time will be a good fit for somebody, and other clubs won't. And obviously we spoke about that as well, because we spoke about players who it hasn't worked out for. There's guys in the Celtic squad now that it's just not happened for. And we spoke about ones that have just come in and hit the ground. Just about nearly every one of Angie's signings have all come in and hit the ground running. But in terms of Juranovic, I really do think Lindsay, I wouldn't necessarily say he's using Celtic. He's used the platform to develop himself under an elite manager, in my opinion, to enhance his own personal skills. Because, in my opinion, I think Juranovic is a better player now to the Juranovic that we signed. I didn't realise we had another wee guest on the podcast there, man. That was nice of him to grace us with his appearance here. He'll definitely go on next week's advert then, you know what I mean? He'll go on the Christmas girls next year.
In terms of Juranovic, like you were saying, the last point I want to make on him, he was only turned because of either agents or the people went to him. He'd want to be turned unless he can only be turned, in my opinion, if somebody talks to you. So if anybody talks to Juranovic last summer or tries to get him, he's fully on Celtic. He's only getting turned somebody wants him. I don't think it's a case that he's not want to be here. It's a case that he's been tapped up. He's been showed a better move, maybe more money because he's a young family. He's been showed a better move, a better lifestyle, and he's thought, you know what, I want that. And there's no harm in that. There's no
many bigger clubs he's going to play for in Celtic now. But he's at an age of his career now where he maybe has to take that next sort of, for financial reasons. Celtic can't give him fucking 70, 80 grand a week. No. He could go and double and treble his wages at Atletico Madrid, or just say for talking shit, if Chelsea are interested in him, or Tottenham, or any other team that maybe want him. They're going to be able to offer him a financial package that we just can't. We can offer him other things, like stay, be successful, win trophies, etc., etc., etc. Eventually, you would get fed up winning the same trophies. There's only 3 trophies up for grabs in Scotland. And see, unless you're... But down in England, think about it, guys. He's going to be playing against guys like fucking teams like Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Harry Maguire.
I know, but what I mean is he's playing against teams down there that he's going to be tested week in and week out with guys like Haaland, guys like fucking Luis Diaz, Mo Salah. You know, there's... Up here, he's got fucking David Witherspoon running at him. Come on. Come on, it's
come on, it's all right. You can come on and talk to us, but
no, but
he went to the World Cup. By the
way, I didn't mean that to sound disrespectful.
No, I don't mean. No, I get
you. He's got guys like Kevin Van Veen playing against him.
I was just thinking that. No way, man.
He's got guys like I don't know. But what's about one? He's got boys like Ryan Kent running up against him. He's not getting. What I mean is, he's one of the best players in this league because of his inability.
What's the best?
He's then not getting tested. He's not getting tested to a yearly cycle happens to be back in Europe again. When he's up against really good players in European competitions. Right. That's what I was meaning there. He's not up against guys like Mo Salah and Erling Haaland every other week. But I do think that's the last wee bit on Juranovic, by the way, and I'm calling it, okay? Definitely. I do think his heat's turned. I think we can all agree on his heat's turned, and he'll be moving on because obviously Ange's bought in my opinion, a ready-made replacement. And that boy does look like a player. Going with the 3 appearances, we've seen him at the World Cup. Again, a guy with World Cup experience under his belt as well. It's only going to bode well for Celtic and the club moving forward. But just touching on the last bit of the pod, boys, before we let you get on with the weekend. Jason, I'll come to you first. In terms of the next fixtures, our next fixture, well, the next one's tomorrow. Obviously, it's not televised for anybody that might be listening that thinks the game's on the TV. It's not televised.
In the next week?
In the next week, then. Right, enough you. That's plenty. That's plenty. They play tomorrow. The game's no televised. It's not on anything at all. So don't try and tune in. Ryan, don't turn on your dodgy box tomorrow, mate, because it's just not going to happen. It's not on any one of the channels. The French have looked us out for some reason. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a Celtic decision as well. Maybe because of the media blackout we're having now with them. Maybe it's part of their hard work. And the fixture is up on flash scores for anybody that maybe wants to go and look at the score or whatever. But you'll know, I don't think you're getting to see the game at all.
Behind closed doors?
Yeah, there's no fans allowed into it either. Which is making me think that it's all part of the plan of, like, we're not going to show too much of what we're doing and etc. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd love somebody to be able to tell me and get it about me, because it's quite annoying, because normally when they get away for pre-season or mid-season camps, you normally see wee training videos of them working hard and doing this and doing that, but obviously we're not getting to see that, and it's no happening. So in terms of the next fixture, obviously we play. Good evening, Frank. We play Aberdeen next Saturday, and it's a welcome back to SPL football. We play at 12:30 at Pittodrie for a Saturday afternoon kick-off. I think that's absolutely fucking mesmerising. I really don't know how that happens. The Mob across the water, they've got the Mob across the water kick off before anybody, 2 days before everybody, so they're playing Thursday night.
Why is that?
Well, the game's on Sky, so I don't know. But they play Hibs on Thursday night, this coming Thursday at the Big House over by.
What, and then they play again on the Saturday?
No, they don't play the weekend. No, everybody then plays midweek next week. The following week, sorry, after that, sorry. But I'm just on your last thoughts, Jace. What's your last thoughts on the season kicking back off, and what's your expectations now?
I'm glad, first and foremost, I'm glad we're going to be back and playing, and we get our team back and playing again, and much more of the same. I think we just need to go back in full throttle, the maximum points, and just we're getting to the business end of the season now, so we need to start. I think we need to continue what we're doing and just get the points and try and be the only thing that I'd want us today, try and be a bit more clinical. I think that's been probably our biggest downfall this year, that we've probably no clinical, even though we've still scored the most goals in the league. But I think a lot of that's down to beating Dundee United 9-0. But I think you want to be trying to be a bit more clinical, and I think much more of the same. You know, go for straight for the juggler, kill teams off early, and get ourselves sort of back up and just keep ourselves in the driving seat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm totally with you there. I did say to Ryan when we wrapped out the Champions League, I wanted to see us put fit to the flare and try and get this league wrapped up. And obviously we managed to do that before Halloween, which was brilliant. But as I say, hopefully we'll have it properly wrapped up before fucking Easter eggs are on the shelves. Before the big Easter bunny graces with his presents. As I say, it would be nice. And obviously we've got a chance to get to another cup final in January as well, with this semi-final. I got my ticket today, so that was good. It was a nice wee something Celtic came through in the post, which was really good, because as I say, we've been missing Celtic for a while, but no, it was really good. Andy Gray, I don't even know if I want to ask you what your expectations are or your aspirations are for this. In fact, no way today, just you beat it in the last Oscar. No, what about yourself, mate? What's your obviously I know you want Oxo to start being a captain and stuff like that, but we'll not go there. I can't believe I've actually nearly get through a full podcast. You've not mentioned his name once.
Nah, he's superb. So in terms of the Aberdeen game, I think that again, people might go Aberdeen easy game, not that. It's never easy going up there. Don't get me wrong, 9 times out of 10, well, in past years, it's always kind of been a down at Aberdeen. You've always given them a good down. The last few years, obviously, when McInnes was in it, wasn't as a down, but you still not winning comfortably. But I think we need to get back to keeping clean sheets. That's the thing we need to keep doing. The last few games before the break, we didn't keep a lot of clean sheets. We were conceding a few goals. Still winning games comfortably, but we were conceding quite a few goals. Knowing it's not a worry, but you don't want that creeping into your campaign, conceding silly goals. We don't need to concede silly goals. But I think the Aberdeen game, if you start off well there, like you said, JP, we've spoken about the statement of Europe, would be a big thing for us, because will be fresh. Yes, so are Rangers, but we've got more quality Rangers, so you'd expect us to be better. So I'm looking forward to Celtic getting back to Celtic Park, obviously. The Aberdeen game, I think, will be a good marker. I think the rest of the season, if you go there and put them to the sword, then I think the other team in the city will be looking at. They went Aberdeen first game back. Right, okay, right. That's a bit of a statement, because it will be a statement. Been interested to see how they get on Thursday, obviously, at Ibrox, when they play on Thursday, which I didn't know until you said that today, mate. I thought they played on Saturday.
Why am I gaffer, mate?
That's why you're a gaffer, mate. So I think that's why they're playing. Obviously, for me, it's obviously David Sky Sports. Sky Sports have obviously got the rights, have got the main decision on what time fixtures are and what days, etc. But surely the first game back for the league campaign, every team starts at the same weekend. Like, I don't get that. I don't get it. That's nothing.
No, me either.
It's nothing to do with conspiracies or nothing. I just don't get why that is.
Why do they start on a Thursday and we don't start to the weekend? It's mental. But as you say, I think you said earlier, mate, on the text that, you know, it's probably because of Sky.
But it's just weird. It's weird, and we'd obviously picked to play at 12:30 on a Saturday at Aberdeen, but yeah, the computer picked the fixtures. But okay, right, you know what I mean.
I told you it's the one in the reception there at Edmonton House.
Why no Sunday at 12:30? Why Saturday at 12:30? Why not do it on Sunday? You know what I mean? I don't know. But I think going forward, mate, just keep going what we're doing. Start Aberdeen full throttle. And I think, as I said to you last night, I think I said before we came on the other night, if we go unbeaten in the 5 games, the 4 games up to Ibrox, and you roughly steal 9 points, just say you steal 9 points by the game at Ibrox, for me the league's just about finished. I can't see Celtic losing 4 games, because the goal difference is kind of a point. People say it's no, but it kind of is, because if it goes to the same points, then you win the league because you're goals ahead. So, which is not going to get at that stage, in my opinion, because we're going to score goals just about every game. So I mate, look forward to getting back and just full fit to the flare and keep going.
Absolutely, and that is exactly why I picked you to finish the show, mate. That was absolutely super duper. Can you not see he's just a man of many talents, Jace, isn't he?
But look at that talent.
No,
Jack of all trades.
Big man's ass is making buttons now. He's in a hurry here. He's got orders today for through the week.
Nah, I've got feet pictures to get taken.
Yeah, Jason, I like red, mate. So get a bit of red on. I'll subscribe to it.
Aye.
Red panty night.
That's a bit of green and white on. I might subscribe myself.
If anybody listens, by the way, I like red nail polish.
There you go, guys. For anybody that's listening in, Ryan likes red nail polish. All you need to do is flick your fingers in front of him and he's yours. Make sure you wash them first, but don't just throw any old fingers in front of him.
Aye, antibacterial wipes, please, first.
You put red nail polish on Cadbury's fingers, man. You'd be munched into them, by the way.
Raspberry Ripple Cadbury's, I love it, man.
Brilliant, man. Yeah. But listen, it's been a pleasure chatting to you again tonight, boys. Anybody that's listening in, thank you very much for listening to us and taking the time to watch us tonight, and also commenting in as well. We always appreciate it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Celtic Unrestricted View. If you don't know how to do it, all you need to do is set up a wee email address and a password that you'll remember, and you'll be able to. Aye, Frank, he does, I know, by the way. He used the nail polish remover to take that off before we went live here.
It's no red, Frank. It's what I call nude.
Just as well you're not a smoker, man. You that big nicotine ring there on your finger. You know what Ramsey is, but in a podcast game. But right, let me get finished. No, as I say, anybody that's listening in, thank you very much. Anybody that's commented, thanks very much again. Aye, so as I was saying, if you don't know how to subscribe to a YouTube channel, basically what you do is you just set up a small account, an email address, a small password that obviously you'll remember individually, and then you just click the subscribe button. It's totally free. You don't get charged any money for it. Our service is totally free as well. We don't charge any money for us sitting here on a Friday night chatting to you. It helps us put out some content for us. This Friday night will be the last random Friday night we'll be doing topic-wise. We've got something coming up for you starting from next Friday. We've got a new type of show coming. So we will obviously notify everyone beforehand through our social media channels. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Myself, Ryan and Jason, we're on all platforms as well. So you can get us, just type our names in and you will be able to get us. But I've been your host tonight, JP. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. Hail, guys, and Merry Christmas when it comes, by the way, if I don't get a chance to see or hear from you until then. And Money Celtic.
Take care, hail.
Hail.